So recently, Tony Khan was snapped in a picture as he attended a Jacksonville Jaguars game, and some internet person went, "Oh man, I wonder what's written on his notebook." Zoomed right in. As it turned out, it was the potential full card for AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view. This is the first time it's happened though. In fact, it's par for the course. Hello there, my name is Simon Miller. Welcome to What Culture Wrestling. Please hit the subscribe button. And here's how these 7 wrestling secrets were accidentally leaked. Number 7, Tony Khan of the Full Gear card. So I've already told the story, but I'll double down on it quickly in case you don't listen. Tony Khan went to football game, Tony Khan had a notepad, internet is absolutely nuts, internet zoomed in on notepad and realised, oh my gosh, it's the AEW Full Gear card, and they leaked it onto the internet. There's every chance he meant to do this, or maybe it was an accident, but here are some of the matches that were reported. We are going to get Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page, MJF versus Darby Allin, Britt Baker versus Question Mark, so there's an exciting new gimmick, Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa, Bryan Danielson versus John Moxley, Adam Cole versus Christian Cage, Inner Circle versus America Top Team, CM Punk versus Wardlow, I'm excited about that one, the Young Bucks versus the Jurassic Express, Cody versus Malachi Black or Mira or Andrade, or maybe all 4 of them, and the Lucha Brothers versus FTR. Now, one of my eyebrows does go up when I do go through that thing, because that's 11 matches, and it does seem like an awful lot. Also, these were written in pencil, so maybe nothing has been decided, but I bet next time you see Mr. Khan with a notepad, it's going to be in some kind of leather-bound lock safe, and we only have ourselves to blame. Number 6, Paul Heyman accidentally shows Vince McMahon's notes live on the air. Happening back in 2020 during a Talking Smack segment, Paul Heyman wanted to show co-host Kayla Braxton something, so he started shuffling through his notes. Unfortunately, on one of these notes, he had a message from Vince McMahon, and we could all see it. And you knew all this was legit too, because it actually said, identify all consequences if Roman loses, and this was right about the time Roman Reigns was feuding with Jey Uso and said, if you don't beat me in the Hell in a Cell and refuse to acknowledge me as your tribal chief, I am going to kick you out of the family, and I'm never going to buy you another Christmas present again. So there was no way that Heyman meant to flash this towards the camera, although we did get an insight into the brain of Vince McMahon, who wanted to ensure that every single fan knew what the fallout of this Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso thing was going to be. I tell you though, I would pay for a documentary about what Vince did when he heard what had happened. I bet he went crazy. Number 5, Keith Lee is a champion before he's a champion. NXT is sometimes taped. This is nothing new, and in fact, lots of wrestling shows go through this process, which is why it's weird that a WWE wrestler watched one of these tape shows, saw one of the biggest things to happen in a long ass time and thought, you know what, I'm just gonna tweet this picture onto social media. This is exactly what Saurav Gujjar did though, because as Keith Lee defeated Adam Cole for the NXT title, which we weren't meant to find out for weeks, once again, he went and put it on that there internet. And look, he did delete this as quickly as he possibly could, either because he realized his mistake or someone from the office had phoned him up and said, what are you doing? But it's the internet. If it is up for more than 0.2 of a second, it's too late, it's gonna be shared everywhere. Now, it was said afterwards that this was an accident, but I can't figure out how you would accidentally do this. Like you fall over and your face falls on your phone and it hits upload and send to the internet, which isn't even a thing to begin with. Me thinks somebody just made a massive mistake. Number 4, the 2019 draft. Before the 2019 draft, a list of draftees appeared on WWE.com. And if you were looking at it, Becky Lynch was at the top, and then it was Roman Reigns, and then it was the OC, and then it was Bray Wyatt. And you were just meant to think, well, this is nice. We can have a look and we can start guessing who's gonna go to Raw and who's gonna go to SmackDown. Well, this wasn't the case. And when we started to do the draft on television, it quickly became clear this was the literal order in which superstars were gonna shift brands. So this was an obvious faux pas by WWE, which made the draft even worse because it's just no fun anymore. We used to have names up on a big Titantron that went boom, 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 and then randomly would come flying at your face, whereas now, somebody just walked out to a podium and went, Becky Lynch to Raw, Roman Reigns to SmackDown, and it was even worse here, because we already knew. I mean, it's still a mystery, like evolution, how this happened. If you work at WWE.com, why would you post this without like quadruple check-in? I will never work it out. Number 3, Kofi Kingston's championship t-shirt. Kofi Mania was one of the best stories in the modern era. The fact it was never meant to happen to begin with made it even more special, and see him walk into WrestleMania 35 as the #1 contender and beat Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. Well, I was there live that night, and I tell you this, everybody in those stands just wanted to embrace and hug. If you had been on WWE.com a few hours beforehand though, all of this was ruined for you. So T-shirt popped up online for Kofi, and on one side it was all like, oh, who, Kofi, who? And on the other it said, yes, there's a brand new champ. Yes, there is. So imagine if you were a massive New Day fan and you were just enjoying the WrestleMania day because we all do, it's quite the occasion. Thought, oh, I'm going to buy a T-shirt, and somebody was right there going, haha, spoilers, you would have been livid. And I don't want anyone to lose their job too, but if this WWE.com person was the same as the WWE.com draft person, then serious questions need to be asked. Number 2, Vince McMahon's commentary notes. This has happened a few times over the years, but the biggest was back in 2015 when a Redditor, as if by magic, got their hands on the notes that Vince McMahon gives to his entire commentary team. And man, some of these were doozies. Because for starters, you're not allowed to say belt or strap because these are championship titles we're fighting over, and you better not say feud and you better not say war. Obviously, wrestling is off the table because it's sports entertainment, and you're not allowed to utter the words DQ, which is very ironic when it comes to WWE, because you think in a company where all they do is disqualifications, you'd be allowed a bigger vocabulary. Fans obviously didn't exist because we're part of the WWE universe, whether we want to be or not, and of course the highlight was the fact that you're not allowed to say hospital because it's a local medical facility. And that one I am very grateful for because I had been laughing about it for the past 6 years. It also completely summed up why sometimes you're watching Raw or SmackDown and you're thinking to yourself, this doesn't sound like normal human speak, and that's because it's not. You are literally not allowed to say some things, even though all of them were completely innocent. Number 1, the Thunderdome banned list. Brilliant this, just brilliant, and WWE needs to hire someone to double check their documentaries. Because as we went behind the scenes in the brand new Thunderdome, some eagle-eyed viewer would realise, wait a minute, next to the production truck, there is a big list of images that are clearly banned from ever being shown on camera. And there was a bunch of AEW wrestlers on there like Jon Moxley and Cody Rhodes. You weren't allowed to show anything to do with Impact, Ring of Honor, or New Japan. CM Punk, Ryback, Alberto Del Rio all featured. And this just went on and on and on. What was really weird about this image is that it looked like a most wanted FBI poster, as if accidentally showcasing any of these guys would have been the worst thing in the world. Like, would you really have cared if on one of those LED screens you saw a fan wearing a Young Bucks t-shirt? Of course you wouldn't, and in fact the only people that do give a damn exist within WWE. And this is what cost them too, and this is why they did get caught. But yeah, to be honest, I don't really think they gave a shit. No, have any other secrets that were accidentally leaked out there? Make sure you let us know in the comments below, and then don't forget to like the video, share the video, and please do subscribe. It's free, it will cost you nothing. Then make sure you head over to whatculture.com to keep up to date with everything going on in wrestling. Make sure you come follow us on social media, that's important in 2021. We have a ton of videos. Please watch them. They are very hard to make. My name is Simon What Culture. Thank you for joining me as always. Make sure you have a good day. Make sure you have a good week. Make sure you have a good month. Make sure you have a good year. And I'll see you soon.